God damn.
Yeah.
You are live. Oh my God.
That drop. That drop.
Right?
You told
Perfect
me
drop.
right. You told me
Perfect
right.
drop.
If I wouldn't have said nothing about it, it would have been fire. I just couldn't let this slide.
I think
to
we
look
should. We
at
should
the explosion.
gotta pat
had to
ourselves
look
on the
back
back.
at it. Yeah, I had to look back at the explosion because that was fire. That was fire.
Welcome back to
man.
Counter Play Conversation.
So glad to be here. Man,
It's been a while, man.
it's been a minute.
Yeah.
Life be happening, man.
Life do be happening.
It happens.
I'm glad to be back. You know what I'm
Me
saying? I'm glad we get to get back in here and yap it up. What up, everybody? What up, Strew Waffle? Hey, we got to get you in here, man.
For
Gotta
real.
get you in here one of these days to come yap it up with us.
Yap it up with us, for
You
sure.
know what I mean? Today we're going to be talking about the modern gamer,
Yeah.
and who that is, what people think that is, etc., etc. If we are that,
Yeah,
you
where
know
are
what I'm
they?
saying?
Do they exist?
We want to do all that, right? First, Mindful Gamer, what have you been into, man? What you been getting into?
Man, lately I have been all up in some Tekken. Like I've been trying to climb the ranks. You started. I will forever owe my Tekken career to you.
Yeah, you
but
doing
like,
it.
I'm doing it, man. And like, so I've gone through the phase of when I first started. All right, so you in the bottom, you know, like you just getting in there. And a lot of my skills from from Mortal Kombat transfer over. So I'm chill, doing well, beating people, climbing up, and then I hit a wall. But I burst through that wall. I got through that. I understood. That wall taught me
Okay.
you're in 3 dimensions. Right?
What was the wall?
The wall was there are 3 dimensions. Learn to sidestep. That was it. I was not sidestepping at all. I was
Yeah.
still trying to play it like we used down the sight. I can move around. So then I moved to the next wall, which was understanding armor moves. All right, like I got that. There's one wall I don't know when I'm gonna get past, and that's King's throw breaks. I don't know. I don't know when that wall is coming.
Yeah, the pros that ain't even fully got over that wall yet. Yeah.
But now I feel like I'm at the stage of the game where I'm playing people who've been playing these characters for the last 30 years, bro, and I just got to do matchups now. I have to go into the lab with each character, and I got to learn these matchups. But it's still a great journey, man. And that and Forspoken, I'm still on it, man. That game is so great. I'll never forgive people for making me think that game was bad, bro. Like I'm making combo videos
fun.
now. It's so
fun.
much fun. I just
fun.
killed my 3rd auntie. Like it's great.
That combo system is good.
It's so
What
good.
up, Ash in Space? How
What's
we doing?
going
How we doing?
on? Kyla with the wobble, Jolly. Who is Nemo?
You know what I'm
What's
saying?
up?
Everybody, we are on Twitch. We're on YouTube. We are at the 8-Bit Closed Fist. We are at the Mindful Gamer. We're here, man. YouTube, Twitch. We're chilling. We're doing our things. You've been getting competitive over there, fighting it up.
Yeah.
I have been getting. I've been story gaming it up.
Really?
Yeah. I'm trying to get these. It's really been review after review, and I'm still falling behind.
Okay.
But I'm Assassin's Creed Shadows. Obviously, before that, I was trying to do Avowed. There was a preview of Expedition 33. There's that cozy game from the creators of Stanley Parable called I'm forgetting on the name right now. Wanderstop.
Yeah.
There's a few games that I've just been literally not been able to get away from because I'm trying to crank out these reviews. I'm trying to get
Yeah.
this YouTube shit popping.
Right.
Reviews are hard.
Yeah. Yeah.
Reviews
They
are hard.
They are.
Yeah.
Especially depending on the audience.
Right. Especially depending on if I really love the game. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not a pick a game and just play that game. Like, you know what I'm saying, for weeks type of guy. Occasionally rarely, I'll say that can happen, but most of the time I like jumping around. I like playing a bunch of different stuff as it come out. Reviewing a game, you can't do that.
Right.
They give it to you 4-5 days before, the embargo is up, and then you got to really just grind the shit out of it. And if you don't, then if you post the shit after embargo come out, it ain't really going to do much.
Right. I feel that.
A whole lot of shit.
I don't think I'd be a good game reviewer because, like, I wouldn't review games whether or not they're bad. I'd review games like, who is this for? Right?
Yeah.
Like, because something that's not good, like Monster Hunter Wilds, like, I just don't enjoy it. I have tried. The gameplay loop doesn't get me, but I did try it. And I see why people like it. It's beautiful. That character creator, I could stay there for days, man.
Right.
Like, it's beautiful. It's just not for me. But it is for somebody who likes that, loop of prepare for the monster, fight the monster, carve the monster up, wear the monster, eat the monster, do it over again. It's just
Right.
It just doesn't sit for me.
And I think how I like to review games is are they doing what I believe they sought out to do?
Right.
Even if a game isn't necessarily for me, if you are a, let's just say, horror game, I don't really play horror games. Do I think the horror elements are, you know what I'm saying, popping? Do I think that the lore and story is interesting for
Right.
horror game people? That's how I like to do it. But a lot of things nowadays, the audience that people are allegedly pushing out games for,
Right.
is the modern audience.
Yeah.
Do I have an effect? Hold on. The modern audience.
There it
Audience.
is.
Yeah.
Oh, production values.
Yeah, we slightly. we doing shit, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to y'all. The modern gamer. We've seen this talking point all over the place. We've seen it from the anti-woke grifters. We've seen it from just regular publications. We've seen it just the casual people playing it, saying that. We've seen companies saying that they want to make sure that their game can attract the modern gamer.
Right.
We've seen this phrase all over the place. So I'm just going to ask right off the back, what is the modern gamer to you?
Yeah.
To
Yeah.
you. What does that mean?
To me, I feel like the modern gamer, that even that phrase, like the modern audience, the modern gamer is a myth. And I mean in a myth in that these gamers have always been there. You just haven't been like thinking about us when you've been making video games. You haven't been considering us. You haven't been considering the way we look. You haven't been considering our representation. You haven't been considering the stories that we consume and how it might feel to take them. And neither have we. We have not cared. Neither have we. We've played the games. They wouldn't be as good as they are if we didn't play them. And so now I think socially, it is not okay to make a game with this or any piece of media that looks a certain way now, because socially we're more conscious, we're more aware of these things. And so if you don't want your game to or movie or whatever it is to be looked at as, we can tell that you made this for a certain demographic and that's the only demographic you ever think of, then you have to do something to include and represent others. And so I get sometimes why they say it's forced. Like, I understand it. You don't think it should be there. But I think in trying to do so, they have created a caricature of what the audience is instead of just make stories and include us in them. And that's it. So like now the anti-woke community has like gathered onto that. I don't want to say propaganda or like pandering, but it is. They've latched onto that and have made it like a pejorative. So I think it's
And who do you think? Okay, so if you can create the modern gamer, like the person right now, as if
Right.
you're in a character creator,
Right.
what does that person or their behavior, like, what do they look like to you?
Yeah.
Like, what do you think they think it is? Like,
I
what
think
are they?
I think that they are, the first thing they do is they go to the skin tone slider and they make it dark enough to where, like, not too dark to where you would get stopped by the FAA or whoever by the TSA. Not the TSA. Is it the TSA?
Airplane?
Yeah, is that TSA?
Yeah, that's
Okay,
TSA.
because I'm thinking about Loki, the TSA,
Oh,
time variant, TVA, the time
TVA,
variants.
yeah.
Yeah, but I think they go to the character slider and they make it dark enough to where you can still get past the TSA, but like not too bright, right?
So I'm gonna go out here and say, are you talking about the person below you to the right? Or are you talking about the person in the middle of us, high up there? Like,
I think the background does a good representation.
Okay, are we talking about this? Are we? What are we? What
Well,
are
we know
thinking
they're
here?
male because they're still not giving women
Right,
great representation in
right,
games. So we
okay.
first know it's male. That's
Yeah,
the what they pick.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank you to our background actors.
Yeah,
there
thank
for
you
that.
so much for filling that up for us. Because I was gonna have at some point it was just gonna become racist if I went too far. So I appreciate you for stopping me. But no, I really think that I don't know if that gamer exists. I have a hard time thinking about them because I just don't think they exist. I think that there are some gamers that want new stories, but like that doesn't mean they're gonna go out and buy everything. So like
Right.
they create this audience and then they blame them for all the bad things or when games don't do well, and like it's just everyone that looks like that gets blamed for it. Like that's
Right. The Geek of All Trades says the modern gamer seems like a phrase used to try and create a classist system in the gaming community, as if certain gamers are better
Yeah,
than
for
others.
sure. Yeah,
Interesting. Okay,
interesting thought.
Um,
What you think they
okay.
are?
So I think, okay, and I think when they say modern gamer, I do think it's two things. Um, I think when they're talking about story, maybe, or they're talking
Mm-hmm.
about we're going to change the story to make sure it fits the modern gamer or modern whatever, modern view or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
I think they may be talking about what you're talking about. But
Yeah.
I think when they're in the boardroom, the meeting room, and they say, okay, who's the modern gamer? Like, who are we going to make this game for? Which is the modern gamer? What do they look like? What do they do? I think they're less focused about the things that you're saying. I think that comes in
Yeah,
the
yeah.
end there. They'll tack
Okay.
that in. I think they're simply saying the people who like Fortnite. Like I think dead ass are like
Okay.
the
No.
modern gamer
Okay.
is the
Yeah.
person who plays a game, wants to play that game forever,
Mm-hmm.
right? And they will buy some microtransactions. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mm-hmm.
I think they're worried about the gamer behavior of
Okay.
like the people that play Fortnite. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And I'm one of those people, right? But I think I can fit in that modern gamer when they're talking about that because I believe that I am a person who likes life service games, right? I think they
I
think
do
modern
too.
gamers love life service games. I think they think the modern gamer is someone who, and I don't fit this bill, but someone who picks a game and makes it their identity, and that is the one of the three games that they're going to play this year. Right,
Mm.
I don't fit that. Right, like again, the Modern Warfare, the Fortnite,
Mm.
the 2K, the Apex. Like I believe all of those people are that's the modern gamer, right? They are the ones that are playing. They are the majority of gamers who are playing games,
Okay.
right?
So
So
I would
that's
call them the typical gamer though. Like
typical.
if I were going to say that, like, because I agree with you. I agree with you wholeheartedly.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think that there is a typical gaming audience that you can just like a core group of gamers who are going to buy the next Call of Duty, who are going to
yeah,
buy the next whatever it is in the franchise, and I think that those people that would fall into that category. I think whenever like I'm hearing the anti-woke community and people say the modern audience, I feel like it's this fictional idea of a type of person who wants everything to have a political messaging in it. They want everything
yeah,
to be seen. They want to talk. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel
yeah.
like that's what they're thinking. I don't even think the people that make games think of that person though.
Right, 100%. I 100% agree with you. That's where I think a little bit of the disconnect is because I
Right.
think when the company, let's just say a project comes out
Right.
and the mission report kind of leaks out or something like that, right? That they're talking to their stockholders for, and they say we're making this game for the modern audience.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
100% the anti woke people say, ah, shit, they're making this for the
Yeah. 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 Fair.
LGBTQ
Fair.
colored person, like
Fair.
and sometimes I do think they may mean that. I don't even mean that. That's
Right.
never what they mean. I think maybe at some point they say, okay, the modern gamer, quote unquote, is a person who is inclusive, right? I
Right.
think they do maybe have said that at length, at most, right? Is a person who wants to see more than just a white person on the screen. I do think
Right.
they may have said that, but I think their mindset mostly is their buying
Yeah.
habits,
Yeah. For sure.
you know.
For
You know,
sure.
so
For
that's
sure.
where I think the disconnect is because
Yeah.
it's and the anti woke heads they mean exactly what you're talking
Right.
about.
Right. Right. No, I see
But I
what you're
think
saying.
9 times out of 10, it's not that. Now the
And
next question. Oh, what you was
oh, and
saying?
I was just going to add to that. Like, it might go into the next question, but I think that like the modern gamers have an idea of what they think that they like, but then their behaviors with games and what they buy is completely different. And I feel like there's a huge disconnect between that. Like, yeah, I
Yeah,
really feel like
yeah,
there's a huge disconnect
yeah.
between that.
And that's what I was going to. Yeah. So, do you think you fit that? For one thing, do you think you fit the quote unquote
Yeah,
modern gamer
yeah.
of either definition of
Right,
what I'm
right,
talking
right.
about?
I think I fit the one where I'm like, I do want to play games with different stories in them. Like, I really do. Like, I am tired of playing the same stories. And, like, it's hard to explain that to people who don't have media literacy or who don't
Hmm.
understand what a trope is or archetype or a
Right.
stereotype. Like, those people who, like, would fail that in class because they've never understood it, they don't understand when you say, I'm tired of playing the same games. But if you truly understand archetypes and tropes, you know that we have played the same game over and over and over and over again. Nothing's ever different. Nothing's ever different. It's the same guy saves the girl and gets unimaginable power due to a tragedy in his life, and like nothing's different
Yeah,
happening.
yeah.
And like,
Meet a few side characters. Some become
right,
enemies. Some become friends, and they
right,
all, you know, immediately upon looking at them
right.
what they are.
Right,
Yeah,
right. So I do fit it in that. But from terms of like the buying and the way, like, and I didn't realize how far away from the gaming community I was in my thoughts on this until I was on a podcast, the Spawn Point podcast. I was on there, and the question I got asked was, "What are the last 6 games you played?" And I was like, I don't buy video games. And the host clarified that like he just meant, "What have you been playing?" But for me, I have so many games in my backlog that I can look at. Like nothing new is exciting me enough to where I feel like I need to go buy that. The only thing I would do that for is if they gave us a release date for Mass Effect 5. Like that I'm buying day one.
so you're
I
not
don't
buying the
care
game for
how
another
much
three
it
years.
yeah, and that's gonna be it. But other
Yeah,
than that, it's been like Forspoken, Tekken, and Melatonin, maybe some indies. So no, I
yeah,
don't think I don't look at a trailer for a new game when it comes out and get hyped up about it. There's too many games out there to play.
yeah. No, 100%. You know the crazy thing though. Okay, so are you not? Okay, so you're saying like you got your kind of games that you're sticking to. I
Yeah.
think you fit maybe not the modern gamer, but I
Uh-huh.
think they're you're the one who they are trying to get. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like I
Yeah.
think their goal is to reach you. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, because most gamers are
Yeah.
like what you said. They aren't buying games. There's a lot of games. The economy is tight, and we're not trying to. You know what I'm saying? If it's free, we in there, right? But we ain't trying to buy that game. So I feel like that does fit. What
Yeah.
about okay? When they're saying, you said you don't care. You do care about stories.
Right.
Do you also care about characters and representation as far
Yeah.
as their sexuality? Even if you're playing a fighting game, do you care about any of that stuff?
Yes, because I know people like that in real life, and it's really cool to see them in the games. Like in the story game, but in the fighting game, it's absolutely essential because people that if you play fighting games, it's your main. You identify like I identify with my main. My main is Zafina, but like we both got purple hair, and like I like Zafina, But it means something to you. Like even if you don't identify like that, like your main that you pick in the game, you know their lore, you know their story, you know what they've been through, you know what they've gone through, and you know why they fight the way that they do, right? So like I
Hmm.
think it's important there. But in stories, it's not that I just want to see a black woman in a game. It's not that I want to see an Indian woman in a game. It's not that. It's that if they are there, I want them to be presented in a way that isn't the most stereotypical fashion. Like I'm tired of seeing stereotypes. Like
Yeah.
I made a video on TikTok and upset a large portion of the Halo community by saying that Sergeant Johnson is a buffoon. He
Oh yeah.
is. He is. In the books, he is so I hate to say well spoken, but like in the books, but in the book, Sergeant Johnson has depth. He has character. Sergeant Johnson has done some stuff. But in the video games, they made that man look like an idiot in comparison to all them other characters in that game. Like no
Yeah.
one has dialogue and speaks the way that Sergeant Johnson does. So like I want them in the game, and it deals with and gets rid of that problem of like I'm tired of the same stories over and over again. Don't you want to know what it's like to be a insert this and this
Yeah.
time period dealing with this?
Yeah.
Because we know what it's like when it's a white man. Like we've
Yeah.
played it,
A lot. A lot. We played it a lot. Played it a lot. I'm with you right there. I feel like there became a moment at one point where I can admit that I was like, do we really care about this? I don't know if I really care about this.
Right.
As far as representation. But I 100% rather them have it, rather them think about it, rather them have think tanks that focus on it than going back to just the same old
Yeah.
ex-military bro dude. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
bro.
Who
It's the
freaking-
same
it's,
one.
it's not interesting. And that's I think part of that is why I don't give a shit about stories in games. Like I think that's part of me.
Yeah.
Was so tired of
Yeah.
literally being able to predict exactly
Yeah.
what was going to happen. And I was like,
Yeah.
this is what it is, right? But as we grew and we start seeing like different things now, like I think I like the fact of just the setting being different is already good for me, right? If they say, "Yo, we're gonna take this game to the perspective of a young Indian woman living in Ohio," you know what I'm saying? Like even that is like, all right, they're thinking of something
Yeah,
different
for sure.
immediately, right? Like, and now we have to like deal with her family dynamics. Okay,
Right.
that's also already interesting, right?
Yeah.
Enough, right? Just like that sort of thing immediately, I find more interested
Yeah.
than the stereotypical thing there
Yeah,
for
yeah.
sure.
I felt that way. I don't think the main character was Indian. I think she was of Desi descent, and I might be mixing those two up, but that's fine. Somebody can fact check. Point is, it was Thirsty Suitors, and it was a dating sim. And that was so fire. It was so messy, and it was so
Yeah.
like everyone had different personalities. It was
Yeah.
great. It was
Yeah.
like this is okay. This is what gaming is. But
Yeah.
I'm tired of the. I said Sergeant Johnson, then they brought up Marlo Briggs, and then
Oh,
they
yeah.
brought up Jax, and then
Yeah.
I'm like, it's the same guy.
Like even with Wanderstop, right? Wanderstop was a game that took place. The entire story is that basically there's a soldier who got tired of being a soldier at some point, and something happened, and now they have to deal with things. And because of that, they joined a tea shop or something like that. Let's see if I can pull it up here real quick. Really quick. See this? Let me turn it down now.
I'm meant to arena in combat.
So like this right here,
Instead, I'm out here in the middle of the woods.
it immediately got
Like a
me
tea
more
shop.
interested just
So
from the
what-
fact that this story could have been just a regular white dude. She was a soldier. She used to fight. At some point, her sword literally got heavy. That guy who works at a tea shop came out and said, "Hey, it's not the sword, it's you." Right? So he's like, "Yo, just stay here, get your head right, and then you can go back out there." Obviously, more story ensues, and
Right.
the things really develop. The simple fact that it is a woman instead of a dude made me more interested in the game because it was
Right.
it's just a little bit more unique. It's just a little bit more of a different perspective there.
Right.
And there's obviously story beats and stuff that go off of that, but it's just that thinking outside of the box alone that
Right.
100% changes things for me.
Yeah, the art style looks nice too.
Yeah, it's actually pretty cool. It's a straight up cozy game, but it has this weird, interesting take, and you'll start to see it when she starts talking right here.
I can stop running. This is good for me. I need to enjoy this. I feel good. I'm happy. I'm happy. I'm happy.
Bro, I just got it. What a cool metaphor. No, I just got it. I just got it.
This is
That's exactly how I feel when I play cozy games. It's exactly how I feel. That's exactly how I feel. I feel exactly like that. Like I'm supposed to be relaxing. I'm supposed to be enjoying this. I
Right.
hope that is so, what?
Yeah.
I think you just put me on again.
I try.
Video games have the power to be transformative, and they're not being allowed to because they're trying to the typical gamer. Like they're trying to,
Yeah. So I think some of the modern gamerness I do tap into. I think the buying habits and the live service stuff I think I tap into, but that moves on to the next question as to let's put our thinking caps on and let's really try and figure out why that can be seen as bad. This modern gamer, the negative side of it, I guess. Like what is it that can create such animosity with so many people? Obviously some of them are bigots, and that's just that, but and they just want to see white dudes. It is what it is. But outside of that, there are some people that's not that just they cringe when they see it now. Like even that game in that trailer, just seeing that woman there, immediately they started talking shit.
Yeah.
Right? And like, what is that?
It's really hard to say because I understand the question that you're asking. And like, I have to sometimes realize that not everybody is doing it from a place of bigotry and like, I just don't like people. It's just hard to imagine what else it could be other than that. You know, like I want to have empathy and I want to
Yeah,
understand. I want to
yeah,
understand. I do. Like, there's some people who don't like turn based games and they
mm,
don't like them because again, it's hard for me not to say just because they don't want to think and they just want to mash buttons all day and they
yeah,
don't understand how much strategy is in it. But
yeah,
like there are some people, right? But someone could do that to me about Monster Hunter, or you just don't like a lot of it. But I feel like the reasons I don't, I've laid
right,
out really clearly. Like
yeah,
I like to clear outposts. I like to level up and have a power fantasy. Like I like all of those things, and Monster Hunter doesn't give me that. That's why I don't like it. Like it's not what I'm looking
right,
for in a game. But
right,
like I do you have an idea? Because like I don't know why just seeing it would bother you so much because you don't have to get it. This game is not for you. Okay. Thousands of games get released every year that are not for
yeah,
you. So
right,
like please help me because I don't know what else it could be. I have like the only thing I have to think is that you just don't like seeing other people in game.
yeah.
Like that's all I can think of.
And I think ultimately, unfortunately, that is what it is, right? Even
Yeah.
if it's like the mindset of again, this Wanderstock game is just a game, right? Some people have never seen this game before. Some people will continue never seeing this game. But for some reason, if it's brought into their attention, they want to hate it and they want it to
Yeah.
fail. And there is no reason other than for that than just you think this game is taking up space from the potential white dude that could have been
Yeah.
that could have
Yeah.
been there, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's really it, right? The second thing there is that I think they believe that it's more work and effort to not put a white dude in it. And I'm talking about not even white guys. I'm talking about some other people who also believes the same thing. Some black dudes, some women who also believe that if you're not putting a white dude in it, you're putting in some extra work, some extra thought, some extra manpower and resources to implement this person of color, this woman, this this queer,
Mhm.
whatever, right? And because of that, you are for some reason not focusing on other things such as gameplay and
Oh,
story
yeah. They say this
and
about the hair, like black hair in
yeah,
games. Yeah.
yeah. And I mean that's just ignorance in how
Yeah.
game development works. Really,
Development works. Yeah, for sure.
that's just not what happens, right? Like they're not. It don't take that much time. You know what I'm saying? Even
Yeah.
with that character, like I don't think they thought. I don't know. They could have literally just changed the dial, just like we make characters. They could have
Hmm.
literally just
Hmm.
changed the dial to make them darker. Said this is
Right.
kind of cooler. So I think there's that mindset in there too. Another mindset is this myth and this weird theory going on saying that like they get more money for doing it, so now they really believe that
Hmm.
they're doing it like that. But it really buckles down to like those pillars of bigotry,
Right.
just like sprinkling little
Right.
myths and stuff out and about to try and make it happen. I don't
And
know.
so if you look at it from that perspective, then like one of my chat somebody in the chat said, I think what creates that divide is that they all have different definitions of what gaming is supposed to be, but hold their personal vision as definitive and an objective definition.
Yeah,
And I think that's some of it too. But like I just it's just so hard for me to conceptualize hating something that I don't like. Like, why would I put so much energy into it? And I feel like to really answer that question, we'd have to like zoom out into society and the way that the world is and how
yeah,
things are going bad. And people are a lot more depressed than they actually
yeah,
think that they are. But like, people are not happy. And like, I feel like only a person who is unhappy with themselves could
yeah,
or unhappy with their life could just see South of Midnight and then get mad. Like,
yeah,
why are you angry? Like, it's ignorance and game development is wrapped in there too. It's just ignorance, I think, at
yeah,
that point, you know?
yeah. 100%, 100%. And what I always say too, like what they fail to understand. I know they think like I don't know Trump or freaking one game not doing good or two game or 5 or 50 games not doing well will somehow change anything.
Yeah.
But that's just not the case, guys. We will never go back to a point where it's just white dudes in games. That's
Yeah.
never happening. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Not sorry. Like that's never gonna happen, guys. So like the hate that you're just gonna be mad forever.
Unless they
Or-
buy a PC, get a PC. There are plenty of like independent developers on PC with no diversity in their games. They don't care. They don't have to care. You know?
And they don't want to play the indie, right? That's the thing, though.
okay.
They want to be on the big screen. Let me turn this
I see.
down. They want to be on the big screen, right? They want to be the AAA. They want to be the thing there.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm looking at our pictures on the back, and like now it feels like we're part of the story thing.
Oh, we're
Like,
in there. We're the modern audience now. Yeah.
One, two, three. I feel like we're in a PBS commercial. But yeah, so I feel like I mean they fail to realize that they will never not be the thing. You need to get an Xbox so you can get this game. Get a PC. Get a phone. Xbox. This
Get a
is an Xbox.
phone and get
Everything's an
Xbox Cloud. Yeah, and get
I'm just
get
saying.
the Game Pass and play it on your cell phone.
All
For
that shit
sure.
is a game thing now. The internet and all this access has created too high of a need for validation amongst the gaming community itself.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, we've kind of dissected a little bit on what we believe is the modern gamer there. But I do want to, let's see if I can look up what people are actually saying when we're talking about the modern gamer.
Yeah. On the modern audience, I really want to understand.
Let's see what we got here. I'm going to do the risky thing there of sharing my screen.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
I hadn't been burned too bad on that yet.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see what we got here. Video game companies should stop chasing woke trends and pandering to, quote unquote, modern
Okay.
audience because
Okay.
the era of woke is coming to an end. Gamers rejected DEI and ugliness.
Okay.
Gamers want authenticity and attractive characters. Make video games great again.
Okay, but see that even the undertone, like we already know what this is.
Right. I would like the goal here is to find someone who is not being woke. I mean, not being
Hatred, yeah.
racist, right? Like, give us someone with some real another one. Actually, I feel like when they talk about modern gaming, they are also talking about the gamer and the type of work ethic they want to put in when becoming games. Like, realistically, I think they're
Right.
talking about like how to implement modern controls in
Yeah.
fighting games.
For sure.
Right? Like, when they thought of the modern gamer, they thought of the modern gamer and they thought of like Tekken and it's like one button combos. Like,
Yeah.
that's what they thought of when they thought of the modern
Right.
gamer. Like,
And they
not-
got upset about that. And like I didn't understand it because I'm still gonna beat you. Like you know what I'm saying? Like I'm still
Yeah.
gonna win.
My
Like
thing about that specifically is that, first off, yeah, there's a ceiling. You're only going to get so far with that.
Only
like,
so
period. But you will beat someone who's not doing that, who also doesn't play games. Doesn't play fighting games. You'll probably beat them. But my thing is that I think they need to implement more information, which again Tekken does a really good job at, probably the best ever. But they fail to understand that entering fighting games is not just about the controls and doing combos easier. It's
Right.
about so much knowledge that you just don't
Right.
have. Even
Right.
you jump into Tekken, although you play Mortal Kombat, you still understood so much information
Yeah.
about fighting games, period, that puts
Right.
you over like 90% of players. Like,
Right.
just from having that information, period, about
Right.
spacing and, projectile, just any of that,
Mm-hmm.
like hitboxes and all that shit. That's what they need to do a better job at. But I'm
Yeah.
getting off topic.
No, that makes sense. It does make sense. I don't think it's too far off topic. I think they're taught they want the modern audience, but they're not explaining. Like, I think the modern audience is also new gamers. Like, we want new people to get into games. Like, that's what
Yeah.
makes it great. That's what makes it competitive. If you're tired of seeing Sonic Fox at the top of every single fighting game, then we need to start from the bottom and make fighting games accessible to people. Like, you
Yes.
shouldn't need to know already what neutral is and what spacing is and what plus frames and all. You
Right.
shouldn't. It should every single fighting game should have that as a base, like teaching you those things specifically. And they start off with assuming that you know that. And like there's some things in fighting games you can't learn unless you experience it. But like if you really understand them, you should know how to teach it, you know? And I feel
Right,
like that's the
right.
big thing. A lot of people don't understand it and they don't know how to teach it. And like people get thrown into fighting games with no help whatsoever. And like you do well for a while, but then you reach a place where there's
Yeah.
knowledge you don't have that you have to get.
And it's really hard and I understand why so many people say they can't get into fighting games. And I being like there is outside obstacles, like it feels like that's like stopping you from getting
Yeah.
into fighting games. Like it takes a lot of like self motivation to want to like break through and understand
Yeah.
what's going on in this world.
sure.
And it's hard. It is
Yeah,
hard.
for sure.
That is why I like Tekken and Street Fighter. Street Fighter's World Tour mode did a really good job at introducing mechanics in a really neat way. Like they had like a story thing to progress, and they'll have like moments where like something random, like you'll have come across a bird. Now you have to fight a bird, but the thing is that they're teaching you the bird will stay in the air, like no low moves or medium or high moves.
Really?
You have to do an anti-air. Like that's the only way to hit this bird.
That's
right? So
cool.
what they're teaching you is like these moves with this character are specifically made to get people out of the air.
Yeah.
Right? Like this is what you're supposed to do when this character goes into the air.
Yeah.
And that type of stuff is still like very helpful. Like going into a fighting game, a lot of us can see, oh, this move is used for this. Like
Yeah.
I already know.
That's
this
the
move
poke.
is close
That's the
this
poke.
gap. That's the
Yep.
poke, right?
That's the
That's
poke.
the defensive move. That's the anti-air. Like there's a lot of stuff like that that would do a better job. And to tie it
Yeah.
back to our topic here, like modern gamers, I mean CEOs and people, they're thinking about that sort of thing.
Yeah.
When they talk about modern audiences and
Yeah.
modern gamers.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
You
now.
know,
Yeah.
like that's what they're talking about. Like, do they want to play on their phone? Most gamers are playing on their iPad now. How can we make this accessible on an
Yeah,
iPad?
yeah.
You know, on a Chromebook, on a low end PC. You
Right.
know, like that's kind of what I believe they're talking about there.
Yeah. And I guess then maybe some of their frustration, I might be able to see that maybe that some of their frustration, it ties back to the other thing, but maybe some of their frustration is like gamers are not being gamers, in quotes, those gamers are not being catered to or pay, like they're not like this is new just for you, right? Like it's not for you anymore. Like
Yeah.
gaming is expanding. I think after COVID is when it really blew up. But like
Right.
gaming is expanding and people are starting to do, like most people watch people play video games. Like
Yeah.
people are starting to see now, you know? And so I think maybe being able to tell, you know, this isn't anything like Omni Movement was for them. Like they were happy about that. Omni
Right.
Movement was great. You know, yes, you're thinking
Yeah.
about us. But like,
Yeah.
you know, having characters that are different or easier inputs, things like that.
Yeah.
How does that help someone who's been gaming forever?
Yeah, yeah, and that's another thing I do see them using the quote unquote modern gamer for is because gamers have, at least these with this topic, gamers have done this thing where like they just lump a bunch of things together and they don't really know, they don't get into specificities, you know, like they don't get specific with shit. I don't know why, but like gamers in general don't really get like specific about their criticisms. And another one, a part of the quote unquote modern gamer criticism they have is making things easier for people.
Yeah, what is that?
They see the yellow tape, the yellow paint or whatever on a game, and they think that, oh man, this isn't for me. This is for the quote unquote modern gamer. This is too easy. They think the gift greatest from God is the freaking FromSoft game. Every Elden Ring
Yeah.
game, they think Dark Souls is like the antithesis of all things modern gamer, you know?
Right.
Which is not the case because Elden Ring was literally made to like get more people. All of these companies want to get more people to play their game.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's all they're trying to do is get more
Right.
people to play their game.
And we should be trying to get more people to game. Like if Elden Ring got you into it, great. You enjoyed Elden Ring. Now check out Dark Souls 3 or
Right.
2 or something like that. Like it's a little bit different. So like it should be about getting people into games. And I think that why is that so offensive? Like we're not kids anymore. No one's making fun of you for being a gamer
Yeah.
the way that they used to. Like it's
Yeah.
we're not, you're gonna have to let that trauma go and like open it up to the world. Like because
Right.
there's some wonderful, amazing stories to be told and other people deserve to hear them. But like the difficulty thing is the weirdest to me. I put games on harder difficulties, not because I'm trying to punish myself, but because, like, for example, in Forspoken, I instantly started on the hardest difficulty because I played the hell out of that demo and I understood the combat system, and at the difficulty level it was at, it wasn't going to challenge me. But it's more about having a challenge, not proving to someone that I can play it blindfolded with a banana while tap dancing. And, you know, I saw one, because even their difficulty, there's always somebody who can one up you. I saw someone playing 2 copies of Dark Souls at the same time, beating 2 bosses at once. Like, it gets crazy.
Yeah, no, yeah, these people get absolutely insane when it comes to that. Let me see one more thing here.
Accessibility is important in gaming for sure.
1000%.
Finally, games are having the colorblind options consistent in the way that they were. Like, I couldn't imagine being able to see things in games the way you need to.
For sure. High contrast mode, all that shit.
The subtitles are better. Even the voice narration on the screen is really, really helpful.
Yep. Let's see what we got. This person gets to explain the modern audience to us.
Okay.
Equity and inclusion in entertainment. In filmed entertainment, the oh-so-virtuous Acolyte was cancelled, while in the realm of gaming, Star Wars Outlaws is underperforming big time. Dustborn has never been played by more than tens of...
Please, why do they use this game? Why?
This random ass
this
indie game,
out of
bro.
all of the games that are released, bro. Out of all the games that are released, they can. And look, I'm one of the 76 players. I bought it, but like, why?
They love them some Dustborn. This is not a game that was marketed as the. This was for the people who like this game. This is for the people that wanted to do that. This isn't.
And their friends and family.
This isn't some mass AAA gaming. You know what I'm saying? Push here. The modern gamer is someone who likes Call of Duty.
That's crazy. He brought this up.
Of people at the same time worldwide, while Concord is getting willowed.
Oh, I know her. She's great.
Pulled from the market, with refunds offered to the very few who ever...
And what does Concord have to do with the modern gamer?
It's because of the pronouns. Like, they think that because it was pronouns in there that they're going towards the modern... Concord failed because it was a $40 looter shooter in a world where Overwatch existed, and now Marvel Rivals. Like, it failed because it was $40. Some people really enjoyed it. The guy I game you watch, he loved Concord.
I liked Concord. I think Concord was you know what I'm saying, was pretty solid. Shooting mechanics was great. But what does it got to do with modern audience in this conversation that he's talking about?
Bought it. Literally hundreds of millions of dollars were poured into making these.
And then they start to talk about the economy of it all, like they get
all in the name of including a modern audience that never showed up because they don't exist. Let's dive in.
Please. Man, come on, bro. It's 2025.
In filmed entertainment, the oh-so-virtuous Acolyte was cancelled, while in the realm of gaming, Star Wars Outlaws is underperforming big time. Dustborn has never been played by more than tens of people at the same time, worldwide, while Concord is getting willowed, pulled from the market, with refunds offered to the very few who ever bought it. Literally hundreds of millions of dollars were poured into making these, all in the name of including a modern audience that never because they don't exist. Let's dive in.
Wait, what? Did I go backwards?
You did. I was trying to tell you, but that's fine. We're going to watch his intro, bro.
This video is sponsored by Black Forest Supplements.
What? No, make your money, bro.
This video is sponsored by Black Forest Supplements.
Make your money, dog.
We'll explore the history of entertainment soon here to see how insane trying to win over a modern audience always was. But to quickly get up to speed, Hollywood and gaming have both been trying to appeal to the modern audience for nigh on a decade now. Whoever convinced them that...
Just making up stuff. You know what I'm saying? That's a lot of just made up words. You know what I'm saying? That he just...
I'm trying to follow. I'm listening to him seriously, though.
Must have convinced everyone else as well, because around the same time, every major corporation everywhere started promoting selfishness over indulgence.
Selfishness.
What? We're gonna get a sermon by the end of this. We're getting a sermon by the end of this.
And role models that embodied all of these. In the process, tacitly encouraging everyone to let themselves go, instead of keeping mentally and physically fit and healthy.
So we got a little fat phobia in here.
Difficult to do. One of the many examples that spring to mind here is the FDA's attempt at taking away NMN, which happens to be Black Forest's star offering. Not because
he went to his sponsors. No, he did. He went to his sponsors. That was a crazy connection. That's crazy.
All right.
Damn.
That was a little
damn.
Quite the contrary, because it works also as a performance-enhancing drug cells in your body.
I'm not letting you do that.
Functionally reverse.
Oh my God, he's going in too.
I've been taking it for several months. Heavier, punch harder, and gains as well.
Okay, buddy.
Wait, can we pause real quick so we can talk about what they're doing? When we talk about the grift, like the grift is evolving because now he has found a way to link to why you should buy this supplement because of the wokeness and indulgence to fight against anti-wokeness. That is wild.
Holy crap.
That is crazy.
And he slid it in there like he was
so smooth, bro.
I was
shameless.
I was like, okay.
Shameless.
Wait, what does this have to do with vitamins? And he did
shameless.
And he kept going. He didn't even slide it in there like an ad.
He did that.
Kept it going like this was a real point he made.
That's crazy. Wow.
Let's move on to the cost of catering to this modern audience.
Also, Pete Powell, he hasn't explained specifically who and what the modern audience is.
Hadn't heard it yet. At least
the rationalization for going all in on the modern audience was the notion that there was this huge untapped market of women and underrepresented groups that could be included if only the product was changed so that they would feel safe, seen, and welcomed. And according to Microsoft's own numbers, this potential market numbers 3 billion strong, as we saw in our video detailing how Xbox mandated policies which necessitated the services of companies like Sweet Baby Inc. Alas, while they were meant to make games inclusive and welcoming, they have instead proven to be the kiss of death for any game, like Suicide Squad killed the
Was that Spider?
Mm-hmm. It was Spider.
Instead,
it was Spider-Man.
proven to be the
Spider-Man 2?
Spider-Man 2, The Last of Us 2. Yeah.
Now, those are terrible examples because those made millions of dollars.
Yeah.
That's not the best example for that.
But I see what he's done. Real quick, what he's done though, like even though he's not explaining it, it's the imagery that he's using. He's basically saying this is Black and queer and women and gay people's fault. That's why. And like, but there's nothing wrong. Like, yes, the audience of people that he's talking about, they do exist. And yeah, if you put them in games or make games that are for them, they will buy them. But like, one, they have to be good. And I just don't feel like people have done a great job at that as of yet, nor are the modern audience because of the way that they think. And they've been playing the games that exist. Like, we don't play games that aren't good. That's the other audience. That's the other people buying Call of Duty 9, 10, 2K, 12, 13, 14, Madden 24, 25, 26, 27. You know?
Yeah. Does he think also that the quote unquote modern, like gay people and Black people?
That's what he said. Gay people, Black people, women, and queer people.
Yeah,
that's
like,
what he
does
said.
he not think they were buying games before? We were buying games.
Right.
Like, we were buying lots of games.
Yeah.
Now it's just we're buying, you know what I'm saying, other different games still. You know what I'm saying?
Or
like
using Game Pass or PlayStation Pass or whatever. Like, we're good with our money. Like, what?
Right.
What?
Like the modern audience, quote unquote, are still some of the people that made their game, their king and savior Stellar Blade successful. Right. You know what I mean? Like the modern, quote unquote, modern audience, which is people of color, women, and
queer
folk, didn't buy games, then most of these games would fail.
That's crazy that he's doing this. That's wild. We should do this every show.
Suicide Squad killed the Justice League, a game which lost Warner $200 million and which directly caused developer Rocksteady to be decimated.
Question.
Looks like
we should do this all the time. That 100%. Game was bad. Yeah. Like, it wasn't a good game.
Right.
It had nothing to do with the fact the story was sick. I enjoyed the story. I thought that was cool. But like, I didn't want to play it. The only person that was fun to play in there to me was the guy Captain Boomerang. That was fire.
And
but
also, what does this game got to do with diversity and shit? These are just comic book characters.
Right.
All of them are regular comic, like Harley Quinn. Is she a diversity? Y'all loved Harley Quinn.
What is this? What is the point?
Is it because of Deadshot? Is this the diversity here? Is it the shark that makes the diversity?
Right. Why would they think that women, Black people, underrepresented groups, and queer people, like, Why do they think that we would have bought this just because? Yeah, like I don't understand.
Because we are in the game. I don't know. That's weird.
This is
But
crazy.
that estimate of a new market of 3 billion may have been something of a miscalculation there. Now, to be clear, I'm obviously exaggerating when I say this modern audience doesn't exist. But if we are rounding out the numbers, then rounding down to 0 would be more accurate than rounding up to 3 billion.
And this is just a random claim. Just a random...
Just a random...
just random
based on nothing.
Well, we're looking at the numbers here that I'm not going to show you or...
He just pulled it out of his ass with a nice photo. That's crazy.
Case in point, no new audience, modern or otherwise, were interested in either Dustborn or Concord, no matter how safe and welcoming they were.
And I don't even think Concord was safe.
No, it was a violent FPS. Like, why would he bring up those games again?
Specifically because those games didn't do good. Specifically. Right?
Do they really think that people are going in a boardroom and thinking of women, black people, underrepresented groups, and queer people and saying, let's make a game for them like that? Is that really how they think it's happening?
No.
Seriously, do they really think that's what's going on?
The few times where that has actually happened is probably Thirsty Suitors.
Yeah, Thirsty Suitors was fire.
Right?
Thirsty Suitors was fire.
That's a pretty solid game.
Fire.
Right?
But like
AAA companies ain't happening.
That's not what's going on here. That's crazy. This is what they think.
In the developers' efforts at being inclusive towards a modern audience, they instead excluded the existing market and the actual audience.
This is what they feel. This is what they feel.
Yeah.
Right?
They believe that wholeheartedly.
Yeah.
They believe that wholeheartedly. He wants us to linger on it for a minute.
Whenever you include someone, then intentionally or unintentionally, you exclude someone else.
Pause. Stop. That's the stupidest thing I've ever fucking heard. That's the stupidest statement I have ever fucking heard. Excuse my language, but that is not how inclusivity works at all. It's so wrong.
That is a definition for literal bigots. They truly believe that.
That's insane.
Right? That makes no sense at all.
By including someone, you exclude other people? How?
That makes no sense at all.
I don't understand that. I can't. No, there's what?
I played Metal Gear Solid. I didn't feel like I was being excluded. Because
Me either.
Snake wasn't a white dude.
A black dude, yeah. That was a crazy sentence.
Insane. Got the
Whenever
music
you
going though.
include someone, then intentionally or unintentionally, you exclude someone else.
That's so stupid.
This is true across the board, and especially for the major entertainment franchises that have been going strong for decade after decade, that sometimes as many as 4 generations may have grown up with. Yet, in the quest of including the imaginary modern audience, they've excluded their built-in and extant audience.
So do you think gay people don't like Star Wars? You're out of your mind.
Waxed and waned in popularity over the years,
but
it was nearly at its height when the BBC decided to be more inclusive, at which point its popularity nosedived. They responded by pandering to the modern audience even harder, at which point viewership fell off a cliff, and now cancellation is looking more and more likely. Star Trek was always inclusive, but since including the modern audience, the viewers...
See? Now he's trying to he's stretching his point a little bit.
He is.
Right? By mentioning Star Trek, that's a wild.
You really
right. You could have stopped at Star Wars and then had a little bit of it. To mention Star Trek, who's the damn near pioneer
of a lot of it,
of all of this shit, is insane. Right?
That's an insane
But to say. And this is the thing. He just made, quote unquote, just the word modern audience, the boogeyman, right? Because literally, I am sure of any of the shows, of any of the programming, they literally was like, let's make a black person, blah, 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 blah.
Let's make a queer person, have their first interracial kiss. Yeah.
They are the modern audience profiteers. Like, they are the ones
crazy
to push it forward. But the fact that he's just going to switch it, he's just going to flip it somehow, and I'm interested to even see.
I think I know how he's going to do it.
I
knew it. I knew it. I knew he was going to do it.
Viewership has all but disappeared as they excluded everyone else.
Pause. You got to pause. Star Trek Discovery, Okay, so this is where we get. Remember earlier we were having that conversation, like, what are the other things that they might be upset about? I got into Star Trek. Oh, this is a great story for this. I would have never gotten into Star Trek if it wasn't for the movies that released. I just couldn't get into it. I had tried to sit down and watch an episode of it, and like I'm hearing that people like this, but I just couldn't get into it. But when the Star Trek movies came out, like the recent ones, yes, and like I was like, oh my God, there's a whole world like this. There's a whole universe of this. And I went back and I was like, I have years of content. Like I forever, like I love the Star Trek universe now. Like it's so great. So like they changed the way they told the story in Star Trek Discovery. Star Trek Discovery absolutely was different from the way that they did other Star Trek stories. Like it wasn't like episodic. It was one particular big main thing that they had to take care of over time. But that's what I grew, like that's what I am geared towards in watching media. So the fact that they did that, I enjoyed it. So like
I like Star Trek.
I can see why some people didn't, but it's not because they were trying to pander to a Black people, gay people, queer people, underrepresented folks and women. That's not what it was. They were trying to get people like me, and I am a Black person. Damn it, they got me. Shit.
You disappeared.
Does that make sense though? You see what I'm saying?
100%. And Star Trek Discovery did pretty well. You know what I'm saying? Like
it was fire, Giorgio. Right? Oh my God.
Yeah, she's great.
Giorgio.
She's great. Right. So apparently, I guess since there was more Black people,
I suppose
it became less interesting.
Always niche though. Star Wars
and he says Star Trek is niche. Star Trek is not fucking niche. It is the biggest, most successful movie franchise of all fucking time.
They've both been the biggest entertainment brands on the planet, always appealing to fans of both genders in every nation and in every culture.
Of both genders, make sure
equally excluded by Disney's attempts at winning over the modern audience.
I think that's a personal thing. Why do you feel excluded? Because you see a Black person.
That's crazy.
After the fluke and brief return to form that was Deadpool and Wolverine, the people behind the next MCU outing, Agatha All Along, revealed no lessons had been learned, bragging to Total Film that they're going to great lengths to include the attendees of WandaVision themed drag brunches, but without questioning if maybe tailoring the entire series to the extreme minority within minorities, who chooses to attend WandaVision themed drag brunches might exclude more than they include, and by orders of magnitude at that. Even the otherwise deranged Paul Tassi over at Forbes was able to recognize that this series is appealing to no one. Yet, in a sense, it's only doing what everyone in entertainment has been doing for years now. And then they act surprised when their inclusive programming for the modern audience fails miserably, destroying universally beloved brands in the process.
Actually, the watch numbers was pretty high for the Agatha All Along.
So let's pause really quick, because like, again, we have to keep doing this. This is insane.
Yeah, no, it is.
This is insane. Are they really getting on the internet and saying these things, and people are just believing them?
And we're gonna check out because it's vibe. The whole video
it's the vibe. It's the vibe.
He can say whatever he wants on YouTube, right? And just it's so long and like. It's just a vibe. You know what I'm saying? You're not fact checking anything, but as long as you say it, as long as it kind of feels like it makes sense in some way or the other.
And why can't shows, like, even if you didn't like Agatha All Along, why can't it be because the writing wasn't good or because you didn't like why does it have to be because they were pandering to a modern audience? The writing just may have been bad. You don't need to Dragon Age the Veil Guard. Like, yeah, there was that one scene in there that absolutely you can tell that someone in the creative director, they wanted that in there and they did that. Yeah. That's fair. I'm not knocking that. It's their game. They can do what they want. But like overall, like that wasn't the reason that people didn't like the Veil Guard. Some of it was like there were some dialogue choices that had nothing to do with being transgender that just weren't good. Like the real BioWare that made Mass Effect 1 through 3 isn't there anymore. You know, they're working on Exodus. So like it's like it becomes like it's the reason that it's bad, and then also like it can't be bad for any other reason. That's exactly right. That's the reason it's bad, and it can't be bad for any other reason.
Yep, that's 1000%. how they frame these conversations. And now they stick to this blame the audience
belief
shit.
Was crystal clear. If they just changed their products to be more inclusive, the modern audience would flock in. Except that never happened. Instead, their existing audience fled in droves. And the most telling rationalization of why this might have happened actually comes from Disney. Last year, they filed a 10-K form with the Securities and Exchange Commission, in which they admit an operational risk due to their messaging. A great write-up from that Park Place summarizes the filing.
Do we got why all this? You just dropped this article, this fact here, but aren't going to show the fact.
Maybe this is it. One of the bullet points.
This is the Park Place is literally an anti-woke publication, right? And if you're going to show the article, show the actual
gotcha, coach. In there.
Why go to an article that sums it up and
gotcha.
Bullet points in this section states, we face risks relating to misalignment with public and consumer tastes and preferences for entertainment, travel, and consumer products, which impact demand for our entertainment offerings and products and the profitability of any of our businesses. Underneath the bullet point, the company states, our business create entertainment, travel, and consumer products whose success depends substantially on consumer tastes and preferences that change in often unpredictable ways. So they blame the audience because...
So he assumes that they mean that people don't want to see gay people anymore, right? And not just people may not want drama. People may want, you know what I'm saying? Like all sorts of possible situations from a business standpoint on why someone maybe have swayed.
Because as they claim, consumer tastes and preferences can change in often unpredictable ways. Except they don't.
That's the true statement.
Everyone who's ever tried to appeal to the modern audience has failed. We're talking a 100% failure rate here, meaning anyone that keeps on trying are plainly insane. That would be because the modern audience, for all intents and purposes, doesn't exist. It never did, and it never will. And contrary to what Disney is trying to tell the Securities and Exchange Commission to excuse their own failures, consumer tastes and preferences never changed either. The only thing that changed was Disney's output, and it changed away from consumer tastes and preferences, which remained fixed as they're derived from human nature. Like fashion or music, the exact form may have evolved with the times, but the fundamentals have never changed.
Shirts and pants is
we gotta let him finish cooking. I gotta finish this.
Even then, it literally has changed. Like fundamentally, what people wear literally has changed.
I gotta finish this. This is crazy.
From the Epic of Gilgamesh, the oldest fully realized tale in recorded history, up until the height of the MCU, the biggest and most wide-reaching entertainment franchise ever, some things have remained constant, even over thousands upon thousands of years of history. Most notable among them is the tales of men that had to overcome their own shortcomings and better themselves.
Stop.
Stop. Please.
It's not a tale of men. It is called the hero's journey, and anybody can go on it. It's just been done by just men all the time because that's all they had in movies. But it's not a tale of man. It's what level is he thinking on? What is this? And this has really motivated me. We got to get ourselves together, man, because like all they're doing is creating a vibe and then just lying over it. And it sounds so good, but it makes no sense if you have even if you listen to what he's saying, hear him, it makes absolutely no sense.
But the kiddies are gonna eat it up, man. I think even some high schoolers would eat this up, right?
This makes no sense.
They're gonna eat this shit up.
Sacrifice, help the larger community around them are both engrossing and inspirational.
That's called the white savior trope.
Children captivated around the campfires when man still lived in caves, encouraging them to be the best they could be. And just 5 short years ago, audiences across the world, irrespective of language, culture, or ethnicity, flocked to see the conclusion of the Avengers saga in theaters, which, while draped in a contemporary wrapping, still told timeless tales of heroism and sacrifice.
Yeah, superhero movies.
But in the few short years since then, Hollywood seemingly
Captain Marvel is a terrible example. It made $1 billion.
That this kind of aspirational storytelling was old-fashioned and redundant, and a modern audience, for the first time in the history of humanity, demanded something fundamentally different. You see how insane that is?
Dude, do you see how insane it is for them to say that we only want to see male superheroes going forward? Like, you could also tell that this person has never picked up a comic book. You know what I'm saying? Like, these are stories that have already been told. And he's also setting it up to say the opposite is true, which is that that has no superhero movie failed starring a white dude before. Like, that's not true at all. Right?
Oh my God, you got plenty.
And there was no data to suggest that audiences wanted anything different. I mean, it's not like The Dark Knight, or Iron Man, or Captain America flopped or anything. No, the only ones demanding anything different were select money people behind the scenes and in public,
Captain America
screeching beached whales with artificial hair colors that in nature signals danger.
Please stop!
That's hilarious. If I made an edit, I can tell you right now, Derek, if I made TikTok edits, I would take that and then I would make an edit of you immediately after, just like walking with your coat or some shit.
This is crazy.
With, like, colored hair, and it would have signifies danger.
Danger. Yeah. Be afraid. I'm born. Poisonous.
Signifies
That's crazy.
danger. God.
I've heard that in the like manosphere space though.
Really?
Yeah.
Colored
No, that's
hair?
a manos. That's why I was laughing.
Really?
And because he said it, but that is a common thing in the manosphere space. So like the manosphere, they talk about like feminists and they say that they wear colored hair and it's going against nature because it like signifies danger. And I'm like, bruh, like, but men used to wear makeup. Like we there were people in tribes that had entire, like they were draped in entire things to like show you who they like. It doesn't signify like danger, and not all colors, bright colors in nature signify danger either. Like it's just
peacocks.
It's a fundamental misunderstanding of like biology and like life. Like, how do you get? I don't want to be mean or rude because I try to have like empathy and understanding. But how do you get this? What's another word for stupid? Ignorant. How do you get this ignorant? Like, how do you get this ignorant? How do you get this?
I genuinely don't think this guy is that ignorant. I just think he knows. And I'm sure if I really did a dive on his page, I don't really want to, but I'm sure if I did a dive, I'll find some failure somewhere. But like, I think he just knows that you say shit like this and it'll work.
To the typical audience. To the typical audience.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
This person is old enough and knows enough to know that what he's saying is bullocks to a certain degree, right? Like, I think he knows that he is bullshitting the audience here 95% of the time, like legit. Also, peacocks are a part of nature, and they have big, bright colors to get the girl.
In animal, brightly colored ones are the one that males use to attract partners.
And what about shirts? Like, is it just makeup? Why are we not supposed to wear bright colored shirts either?
This is
like,
crazy.
It's really insane.
And ever since, entertainment has mostly been about including a hypothetical modern audience that wants to see themselves represented on screen and who wants to be affirmed in how perfect and how right they were all along, while yesterday's heroes, the ones the actual audience always responded to, had to be emasculated and taken down a few pegs for their patriarchal and triggering ways. The extant audience never asked for this and increasingly are staying away, while funnily enough, the modern audience that were supposed to show up never did. No wonder then that all the products made for this non-existent audience keeps on failing.
Black Panther?
Until the powers that be reach the point where they can't afford this madness any longer. It just might continue though, so remember to take care of yourself and your own well-being, even if corporate entertainments are promoting role models that don't. to help you out. Remember to remember
I was wondering where he was going with that.
Yeah.
Use the link in the description.
That's where you end there, buddy. I was wondering where he was going with that.
So that was a crock of shit. That's crazy.
That's pretty crazy.
That's crazy. But now we understand. Like, at least I had someone explain it in a way that like makes sense. Now I see what they're thinking. Like, and he wouldn't say outright that he's a bigot, but like every picture that he was mad about, it was a black person, or it was a queer person, or it was a woman. Like, so he just won't say the quiet part out loud. Make games that white men want to play. Make sure that the white men are the stars, and like that's what please pander to us. We want to be pandered to. That's what it is. That's all he said.
Please pander to us, and we won't buy anything else. And we are, and he's feeding you this lie that if you make something else, it's going to fail because here's what happened. But
we're not going to buy it.
He's even using examples like Spider-Man 2, The Last of Us, Captain Marvel, which were massive successes. Women buy shit, so you know what I'm saying? Like gay people buy shit, so. Even if, no matter what, they're going to buy things and they're going to continue making things with those people in it because everyone is making games and shit now. Everyone's making movies now. It's not just held by, gatekept by just a bunch of white dudes. It's never going to happen, and those vitamins won't help you.
Yeah, but he's gonna sell a lot of them because they're gonna think that's part of it. But like the way he like strung that together was masterful. Like that was like that is a salesperson. That is somebody that can sell you something. Like that is amazing. The way
and
that
I'm
he
looking
put that
through the
all
comments,
together.
man. People eating it up.
Yeah, no, that's amazing. So the thing is, like the modern audience that he's talking about, like, is the one that I described. But like we've always been here. We've always been playing games. We didn't like say. Throw us in games, just have us represented, but don't have the game be good. Like nobody said that, you know. But it would be nice to have different characters and different stories. But like they're doing it in a way where like, and part of me, if I were going to put on my conspiracy hat, I think sometimes they do it knowing the backlash that it's going to get, knowing what exactly. Like with the new, I don't like Harry Potter, but I know that Snape is being played as a black man. Nobody asked for that. He has a clear definition of what he looks like in the books. Nobody asked for that. Like that doesn't make any sense. But like Cyrax being a woman in Mortal Kombat, like it's a new timeline. Like I feel like it's
a brand new thing.
It's just so much hate towards a group of people. That's all that this is.
And you know, if they would just say that, it would make so much more sense.
I would be so much happier,
right? Hey, do your thing, man.
Just say what you mean.
You're gonna fail. Good luck. You know what I'm saying? But you will end
But they're trying to appeal to the modern racists.
They're trying
to
sell it. Yeah,
they want to appeal to the modern racists now. You can't just come out and say stuff like you used to in the past. I don't know why people think that group of people went away. They're still here. Talk to them like they're here. Just say it. Come out and say it. All 100%. This pandering to the modern racists, no.
Yeah. All of a sudden, you're saying this because you want companies to make billions of dollars.
Historical accuracy,
right? Fuck out of here. We can debunk that shit all day. Unfortunately, that was the end of the show. We must say again, that was a load of shit.
Crazy.
So much bullshit from. Not showing actual facts at all to what he was talking about, but still protruding as if they were, like still kind of saying them as if they were factuals, using cherry-picked examples of things that universally failed, that were universally disliked, as if they were some sort of piece of evidence to his theory that he crafted out of nowhere. It's a lot of bullshit.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah, it's bad.
I have never, and all he had to do was create a vibe and then just say whatever he wanted.
Yeah. It's that easy. Fat phobic.
How many views did it have?
Oh, more than enough. Let me see. Trying to see.
It's over 100. It's over 200,000.
Oh no, that was 53K.
Okay.
53K. It's on the
he has 238. He has 238,000 followers, though.
Yeah, 258,000 followers.
Wow.
It's a bunch of stuff like that.
It's just hard. Like it's so easy to just put together crap and lie about it. It's like it takes work and effort to go explain it. Like it's harder to do the other job. Like it's so much harder.
Oh, for sure. Because you got to. Most people on the other side of this, the people who are more knowledgeable and just want things to make sense, are gonna, ask for proof. Now you have to put in proof. You can't just put in funny little pictures, and that is enough proof for you, right? A lot of people are not like that.
Wow.
But yeah, that's that. Let's. There's a lot going on. We will be debunking and reacting to a lot of that bullshit.
For sure. We need to. That could be our job. That could be it. That's the work.
Sure.
That's it. That could be it right there. We just need to make sure we have good music in the background, but that could be it. Like we should just watch these videos and talk about them. Like that's simple because it's so wrong. I'm excited to see what they're gonna say next. Like I'm so excited.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
100%. 100%. Make sure y'all follow again if y'all want to see more of these discussions. Y'all want to help out. Y'all want to hang around. Join the Church of New Game Plus over there with the Mindful Gamer. Follow the Mindful Gamer on YouTube, Twitch, etc. And also follow me at 8-Bit Closed Fists on YouTube and Twitch. A bunch of cool stuff going on. We will leave you guys in your Sunday to go enjoy yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, go leave on a happy note. Go play something, enjoy yourself.
Play
like
something great.
Fun.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Whatever you want on the easiest difficulty. Put it on the easiest difficulty. Whatever game it is, go put it on super easy and just go God mode and have a great time.
And live your life knowing that you got more common sense to these people. You got more logic skills and it's bad, man. But we out here. We gotta do the work. So make sure y'all tap in, you know what I'm saying, for more casual Sunday conversations, etc. Counterplay conversations. It's been real. Adios.